When I came into pricing and general insurance, I really loved it. And straight away, I knew that that was the thing for me. That's where I'd be staying.
I'm joined by Jack Boult from the startup pet insurer Napo. Napo are a client, the PriceWriter. He has an impressive background in general insurance pricing with a deep knowledge of pet, although he started off in life and pensions. Outside of work, Jack's wife is a retired head teacher, retraining as a solicitor, and they have an entrepreneur son who is owner, founder, and director of a call center called Hero PA. Hello, Jack, and welcome to the show.
Hi, Jeremy. Thanks for having me on.
Great to have you on this afternoon. So, the first thing I want to ask you is, how did you get where you are today?
That's an interesting question. So the first 10 years of my career, I'd actually describe it as meandering around quite a bit.
Okay.
I actually, 1998, January 1998, I actually started in life assurance as an actuarial student. And in 2000, I then went into pensions, particularly the pension review era was happening back then.
Okay.
Um, I got into the programming side of it rather than just doing the casework.
Yeah.
And it was Excel and VBA programming. So it gave me a VBA slant. But when the pension review finished, that company disappeared, and I was out looking for a job again. I actually left actuarial work for a while.
Yep.
It was VBA coding, then an internal move into compliance, which was investment compliance. So I didn't actually come into general insurance till 2009. So a whole decade of moving around all over the place.
Yeah.
And when I came into pricing and general insurance, I really loved it. And straight away, I knew that that was the thing for me. That's where I'd be staying. One thing that kind of struck me, I was 10 years older than a lot of the other ones. Like, how do I compete with these bright guys? So I became very keen on telematics. And that led to me then being research and development actuary, where I was with Marcus Study at the time. And they were wanting to go into new areas. There was telematics. It was leading them into pet insurance, bit of gap and warranty. I became very much a product development side of pricing. And then late 2013, I went contracting, got some household experience, but always kept that slant on the product development side. And that's what really helped me as a contractor. I could do both business as usual contracts, but also contracts to develop new products. And I've got that string to my bow. So that was, that was a massive help. And then more recently, I've left contracting and become head of pricing at Napo, which is a startup in pet insurance. It's been right on my street because I've done pet insurance several times before, always from a kind of product development slant as well. Started doing pet insurance was absolutely ideal for me.
What prompted the return from contracting into a permanent role?
What I found with contracting is that some contracts were things I could earn ages ago. And so some contracts were interesting and some
Yeah.
weren't so interesting. I just thought, as a contractor, I'm not getting the opportunity to develop management skills. So let's take a permanent role where I can manage people and
Yeah.
develop some other skills and have some new experience.
Yeah, I think that is something people find with contracting. It's great, but you maybe get a bit typecast and a bit stuck at maybe the level you were when you went into it. So what's it like at Napo?
It's been very interesting working with a lot of people that are not from an insurance background. Most of the claims people are from an insurance background, but any other department, they're not from an insurance background.
Yeah.
So a lot of learning on sort of how to run a startup,
Yeah.
the startup culture, and even the software that the startups typically use, such as Notion. That doesn't appear in large insurance companies, but it's right from amongst startups. So a lot of startup type learning I really wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the management and leadership learning that I was expecting.
Yeah. And what would you say then is your mission for pricing at Napo?
I'd say my mission is to bring in all the experience I have from all the many insurers that I've worked at, and even life assurance and pensions knowledge, bring that all in and then apply it in the area of pet insurance. There's so much that can be done, that can be brought in from motor insurance, and that it's really useful to have all that broad background and the multiple pet insurers. Firstly, you can be very innovative by having all that background and bringing in things to pet insurance that the pet insurance hasn't had previously. Um, but then secondly, even without that kind of innovative slant, just simply having had a lot of experience, taking the best parts of all that experience in any scenario, applying best of what I've seen previously. And so one thing that I always think of with that is that I once heard that Tiger Woods was trained that way. That,
Yeah.
that if he copied the best in the world in every situation, the best in the world at driving, the best in the bunk, and made himself the second best in the world at everything by copying the best in the world, then overall he would be the best in the world.
Yeah.
So the way I like to think of it with developing pricing at Napo, taking the best of what I've seen in every situation and applying that.
That's
And
excellent. So it's about taking the best of what people do in other areas, the other insurances perhaps, or in pet insurance, and actually bring it all together to make something that's better than the sum of the parts.
yeah, yeah, very much. That's my philosophy.
That's brilliant. And you find at a startup, you've got more of the freedom to actually do that.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, so I've been able to implement quite a lot of things because it's been a blank, a blank sheet. So,
Yeah. It's interesting. I've done the research and development myself. And sometimes in organizations that doesn't always make it into the final. Sometimes quite rightly, but sometimes it can be a bit frustrating that you do a lot of the development side. Have you maybe found that you're now free to actually get some of these things implemented?
it's always the one thing you do find at a startup is an immense amount of challenge.
Yeah.
So you're always up against more, more challenge because the people around you have not come from an insurance background.
Yeah.
Then yes, things that things that you would think would be kind of more straightforward and wouldn't be challenged are going to be challenged
Yeah.
because there's people around you who haven't done insurance before, so they're going to challenge everything rather than just the perhaps what you might think in insurance. Yeah, if you're surrounded by insurance people, it might be the more maverick things that got challenged.
Yeah.
Whereas in startup, everything is going to be it's going to be challenging.
Yeah.
But when you're starting with that blank sheet, then yes,
It
a
sounds
lot of what you want to do is going to go in. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds great. It sounds like a really good environment. And so I always describe my vision as every insurance customer paying the exact right price for their insurance. What would you say is your vision for the future of insurance pricing?
Yeah, the future of insurance pricing, I see it in kind of several areas of pricing. So at the moment, right now, I think there's a great opportunity with commercial lines and London market because what they're finding is that if you've only got 100 policies, then you're not going to be doing sort of GLMs and things. But what they've found recently is that actually they've got 100 policies that have each got an average of 1,000 commercial properties on per
Yeah.
policy.
Yeah.
And now they're actually, at one point, they just had a bordereau and probably didn't know where half those policy
Yeah.
were. Whereas now they do, they've got great detail. So they've now got 100,000 properties worth of data.
It's
So,
granulization that's going on, isn't it?
yeah,
And like it started off in the personal side, it's taking over the commercial. Now we're looking at seeing it happening in London markets. It just seems to, ultimately it is the way forward.
yeah,
You've got the data.
yeah. And the same thing, there's also the spreading out within personal lives in that things start with motor and then
Yeah.
progress to household and now progress to pet insurance.
Yeah.
So a very good example being optimization.
Important with optimization to always remember it perhaps picked up a bit of a bad label because of GIP, but really we're talking about offering the optimum price to achieve the objectives. And those objectives should include treating customers well.
Yeah. And I think one thing that often gets overlooked on optimization It's partly down to the fact that a lot of the insurance industry insists on calling claims models risk models,
Yeah.
when actually there's a lot of other risks involved, such as when you're paying aggregator fees, being able to cover that aggregator fee. So having a propensity to renew model helps a lot there. It tells you whether you're going to have to cover the fee in 1 year or over 5 years.
Yeah.
So indeed, a lot of the models that are going into optimization
Yeah.
are actually, I would say, very much to do with risk and very much to do with fairness.
Yeah, absolutely. That's right. I often characterize optimization as being about giving the people that run the company the correct levers and controls to set the prices, because that way you, like you said, you can make decisions like, should I look at this fee over this number of years or that number of years? In a traditional ad, that could be quite complicated to model. Whereas when you move into the optimization, you can put that into the giant formulas as a constraint and actually see that evolve and what will happen before you go out to market. So in fact, it allows you to make better decisions.
Another area that I'm noticing that's very much developing in pricing is combinations of and hybrids of models. So you've got data robots, which not only does it go away and find the best algorithm, but it then looks at composite algorithm.
Yeah.
It's about to say another best model. This
Yeah.
is 50% XG boost,
Yeah.
25% light boost, and 25% so some kind of linear model. And then you've got insurers starting to look at sort of over the top of GLMs. What can they do with the residuals to get a bit of improvement on the GLM?
Yeah.
Perhaps that's a GBM on the residuals.
Yeah.
And you've also got the same thing going on with optimization, that insurers are looking at kind of layers of optimization. They get the optimization halfway there with perhaps a modeled down optimization, and then really fine tune it with dynamic optimization.
Yeah. In the live environment. Yeah, that definitely is what's happening. It's interesting how we never seem to come to the end of this journey. We've been improving, building more complicated models, getting the price more accurate for customers for a long time now. And actually, there's just such a long road in front of us with so much more.
The best players in the market are getting the right balance
Yeah.
between having pricing actuaries,
Yeah.
having people working in pricing that are non-actuaries,
Yeah.
bringing in pricing experts from industries outside insurance. So you got utilities, airlines, all of that type of experience,
Yeah.
bringing that into GI. And then you've got the data scientists. So you can be bringing in GI data scientists, but you can also be bringing in data scientists from outside general insurance. They, Facebook ones sure know how to do A/B testing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the winners in pricing are going to be the ones that get that right blend of intellectual diversity amongst the staff.
Yeah, absolutely. I was talking to Wazim Malik on a previous episode, and he runs a claims for Aviva. And he was saying how they are employing so many more varied skill sets than they ever used to. So while it used to be claims handlers, now they've got teams of data scientists and other roles. And in fact, it's interesting how pricing teams, there's a lot of functions we used to do, like testing and developing and the deployment. Actually, we're now getting specialists to do those. So you've got pricing developers, you've got price testers, and actually that's really good. And the skills coming in from outside to real change as well. And it used to be rather an underwriting thing to have people particularly skilled in, say, airlines for travel or vets for pets. Whereas now people are really seeing the value of not only training the pricing team on having that wider industry knowledge, but also getting people with that knowledge into the teams that can really help and drive forward better pricing.
Yeah. And the collaboration as well across departments
Yeah,
is,
that's improved. It's interesting you mentioned Notion because I think it's a fantastic tool for collaboration. It's a shame. I don't know big insurers using it. Then there might be one, I don't know, but it does make a big difference. Thanks a lot this afternoon, Jack, for taking the time to meet. It's been really interesting.
It's been a pleasure to be on your show, Jeremy. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks very much. You have a good day.
Okay, thanks.
Cheers. Bye bye.